Good evening. So I wanted to mention something new that's coming around in Ireland, and there's a few people talking about it, and my knowledge on it is pretty sparse, right? But it's related to a new political party that's said to be getting ready to be established in Ireland called Hibernia, right? And it's called the Wild Geese. And essentially, the lads that are getting it together are trying to do is promote essentially a political lobbying group that will lobby for the needs and the interest of the Irish people. And what they're planning on doing is going around to different countries, predominantly countries that Irish people, wild geese, right, have left for, and to see if they can get some sort of financial backing and just influence as well, right, and maybe some business backing, um, philanthropic backing from people who've left Ireland and have made good lives for themselves out in foreign countries. And again, with the aim, I suppose, of alleviating some of the burden, some of the financial burden, and some of the community burden, even, and the pressures that are on Irish people at home in Ireland. And on the surface, it sounds great, right? And I think what we need to avoid is harpooning something before it's even come up for air in this country, right? Because there's a lot of people that are automatically dismissing the people that are involved in setting this up. And I would urge people to kind of hang on a few minutes, right? Have a look at what's being said. Do we have a need for international assistance? It would be helpful. Do we have a need for, even just in terms of spreading the message and the state that Ireland is in across the world, is that beneficial to Irish people? Yes. Would financial assistance be, or financial support or investment be beneficial to Irish people in terms of setting up their own media companies, setting up perhaps papers or podcasts, or getting properties where people can meet, all that sort of stuff? Is that beneficial to Irish people? Absolutely. So in principle, grand. Are there potential pitfalls coinciding with that? Of course, because we want to do it ourselves, right? And we want to be dependent on nobody or no thing. But as it stands, us doing it by ourselves, how far down the road have we gotten? Far enough, far enough to have claimed victory in a few battles, right? And the hate speech one is another one. And how much of that is down to, I suppose, the noise and the resistance that Irish people are putting up and the defiance that Irish people have cemented and established, or how much of that is down to a little bit of outsider influence from the international nations, right? All of it, all of it. But I would suggest to people that, and I've my own kind of grievances with little things around it, right? So the name Hibernia is, to me, not just to me, right, but what it means to me, like literally is the name of Ireland that Rome gave. That's a red flag in and of itself, right? And that might be just misguided or a little bit forgetful of history, and it might be something that's rectified going forward, right? But initially, calling a new political party for Ireland after adopting the name that a foreign entity, a foreign empire gave to your country, that's weird to me, right? But be that as it may, let's, as I said, let's not harpoon the thing before it's ever taken flight, and let's see where it goes, right? And based on the fact that there's Irish people involved in it, because the word nationalist is flung around, right? And to me, I try and avoid the words because there's a whole set of meaning baked into the word, and there's a whole set of meaning that word draws out of people. So for myself, the way I see it is that all Irish people are, they make up the one entity. right? And I view it as one person, one being. And there's parts of that being that are sick and decaying and dying, maybe dead. And there's other parts that are healthy and thriving and seeking something stronger and more powerful, right? But we are inextricably linked. We are bound to each other, right? When there's portions of our nation, our people that are sick, it impacts everybody else, right? And I don't mean just sick as in physically sick, because we are physically sick. There's massive parts of this country that are physically not doing well. I mean psychologically as well, and morally, okay? And when you have a significant portion, even a small portion of your people that are morally sick and they've lost their way, it impacts everybody else, right? But it's not grounds for dismissing or vilifying everybody else, because you have to get along with them people. You have to live amongst those people. You don't have to get on with them, right? But it is in everyone's best interest if we are more together and we are more unified, not just in terms of how we see the world, but in terms of how we value the people that we claim as our own, right? And whether we claim them or reject them as our own, the fact remains, they are our people, right? So whenever anyone that's trying to do something that, at least on the surface of it, looks positive, it will be within our sense to have a look at it, see how it takes flight, and see how we can use that for ourselves, right? How can this benefit us? And up until the point where it is clearly not a benefit to us in terms of what we want, which is, I won't say we here, right? In terms of me, what I want, which is Irish people just to do better. Irish people to have a better relationship with themselves, with who they are and where they came from, and a little bit more hopeful and optimistic, and full of anticipation for the future, right? Not dread over it. Yes, give it to me. What's the next age coming, right? What's going to be more pronounced in this age, and what can I give to add to that, right? And what can I give to take away some of the shackles that bind us to this stuck in the mud attitude, right? Where we dismiss everything out of hand and we denigrate people that are trying to do something, right? We've been seeing that for years, and it's not getting us anywhere. It's just dividing people continuously. And we're always a few stupid moves away from a civil war in this country. So constantly cleaving the thing even harder, right? And sticking crevasses, whatever, between people. We've been watching that for years and it hasn't gotten us anywhere. So it would benefit us more if we could applaud each other a little bit more and give each other the benefit of the doubt, instead of writing things off immediately based on a little bit of information that we think we know, right? And maybe we do know, but at least watch something take flight and see how it flies and see what the aim of the thing is before we harpoon it, right? Because the idea of claiming being a nationalist and wanting what's good for Ireland, but just these kinds of Irish, doesn't work, right? Again, if we bring it down to simple principles, if you have a family and there's 6 of you in the family and two people in the family aren't doing well, right? They might have addictions, or they might just have a totally 180-degree worldview than you. Does it benefit your family to just deny the existence of those people, or to denigrate them, or to just spit on everything they try and do? Or does it benefit your family to try and see how you can all work as a system to get the thing up and running in a way that benefits everybody and alleviates the most pain and suffering and needless suffering? I would suggest that it's more beneficial to see how we can all work together, right? Up to the point where you're dealing with people that, not that they won't listen to you, but that are directly antagonistic to you. Then that's enough, right? But I would suggest being a little bit more hesitant around declaring people enemies before they've declared themselves an enemy to you. And let's give that a go.